All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something today that really feels like it's straight out of science fiction. The idea of running your code in the cloud, but without ever having to manage a single server. And no, it's not magic. It's a real-deal technology, and it's totally changing the game for how we build modern software.
So just think about this for a second. What if you could build and run an application and never, never have to worry about patching an operating system or guessing how much server capacity you need or even thinking about the hardware it's running on? Imagine you just write the code that does what you want it to do and everything else, poof, is just handled for you automatically. Well, that's the incredible promise we're going to unpack right now.
So, what is this thing? The technology that makes all of this possible is called AWS Lambda. You can think of it as this silent, incredibly powerful engine that's driving this whole serverless revolution. And trust me, once you get how it works, you're going to start seeing its potential absolutely everywhere.
Okay, let's really break down what that means. When we say serverless, it doesn't mean there aren't any servers. Of course there are. The key is you don't have to deal with them. AWS handles all of that behind the scenes. Now, the really crucial part is that phrase, in response to events. An event can be almost anything. A user uploading a new profile picture, a new sale getting logged into database, or even an API request from a mobile app. Lambda just sits there, waiting for one of those triggers, and then it just springs into action.
So, how does this all actually happen? How does this event-driven magic work under the hood? It might sound super complex, but it actually boils down to a really elegant four-step process. Let's walk through it.
The whole thing is right here. First, something happens in the world. That's your event. Lambda is basically always listening, and the second it detects that trigger you told it to watch for, it wakes up your code. From there, your function just runs, all by itself, in this perfectly managed, totally secure environment. And once it's done its job, it either sends a result back, like a quick, yep, that worked message, or it passes its output along to another service to keep the whole workflow moving. It's like a completely automated lightning-fast chain reaction.
So what does the code behind one of these things even look like? Well, here's a super simple hello world example in Python. The most important thing to see here is actually what's not here, right? There's no server setup, no network configuration, none of that complicated boilerplate stuff. It is just the core logic, the actual task you want to run, all wrapped up in a simple handler function. And that's what's so freeing for developers. They get to focus purely on the problem they're trying to solve.
Okay, so we know what it is, and we know how it works. But now for the big question, why? Why are so many companies, big and small, jumping on this serverless train? Well, the payoff is, frankly, enormous.
The benefits here are just huge. First off, and this is a big one, no more managing servers. That alone can save teams countless hours. Second, it scales automatically. It doesn't matter if one person uses your app or if 1 million people use it all at once. Lambda just handles it, scaling up and down seamlessly without you lifting a finger. But here's the real kicker, the part that changes everything. You only pay for the milliseconds your code is actually running. Think about it this way. A traditional server is like leaving every single light in your house on 24/7, just in case you might walk into a room. Lambda is like only paying for the tiny flicker of electricity in the exact moment you flip a switch. If that switch is off, your bill is zero. It's that revolutionary.
Now, all of this sounds great in theory, right? But where is Lambda actually being used out there, in the wild? Let's take a look at some of the real-world situations where this serverless power is making a massive difference.
The versatility is just incredible. Lambda is the invisible engine powering the backends for countless websites and mobile apps, handling all those user requests dynamically. It's absolutely perfect for real-time tasks, like, say, automatically creating a thumbnail image the very instant a user uploads a new photo. Companies use it for all kinds of automation scripts, for constantly monitoring their cloud for security threats, and for streamlining their entire software development pipelines. It truly is the silent backbone of so many modern applications you probably use every day.
And that, really, brings us to the most exciting thought of all. This isn't just a new tool. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about computing. It's no longer about managing machines. It's about reacting to moments in time, to events. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. If any action, anywhere, can trigger a piece of code, what amazing things will you create?